Yes, we are live. Hi, friends. Today is a very special day because yesterday we saw some very good changes in the education system. And it gives me immense pleasure now for today's guest at the right time. We are always at right place. So he is an internationally renowned psychiatrist. He has worked a lot on transformation behavior therapy in schools, colleges. Since last 10 years, he's done mastery in this work. So he has even got some international courses, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, Leader in Me. So he started that courses in more than 72 schools in India. And he's also been awarded by President of India and the Education Minister for his excellent work in education. And I'm sure today 4:30 is be very highlighted in Times of India also. Kanan, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to the community of Entrepreneur Excel. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome. I think it's a long time due to be here with entrepreneurs. And that's one area I really like a lot, education and entrepreneurship, and you're doing both of that. So it's a great honor and privilege for me to be here with all of you.
Okay. So, Kanan, first question, because we have lots of entrepreneurs in the community. We have mommies, we have our Australian audience with us who all are watching us. So, first thing is, how does the current education system help our thinking on entrepreneurship and entrepreneur mind? What is the connection currently with it?
The current one or the new education policy? Which one?
We will talk about it, but currently, what is the scenario of education?
You should understand this. Certain things you should fundamentally understand about our Indian education system. The current education system that we have today, which majority are trying and aping, is something that the British gave us back. When before they gave us independence, along with that they gave us the system. That system is what? It is supposed to be creating disciplined workers in factories, people who agree the norm and who look at English in awe. And everything is done aping of that particular system. Because of which, what has happened? Fundamentally, entrepreneurship is not encouraged in our current school education system. The current school education system is pure marks-based, academic based, and sports and culturals are something they do it for entertainment purposes. At least the majority of schools. If there are some few schools which are doing this, the majority of schools is not like that. Now, because of which, what happens? Now we have a generation that is coming in who do not see entrepreneurship as a way of life, who do not take up entrepreneurship as a way of life. For all of them, when you talk about entrepreneurship, the first thing that comes to their mind is, will it give me a salary? Will my parents be okay with it? Will I will be able to go think out of the box? So the whole out of the box thinking is like a hearsay in a system where a few people, dots and pieces are doing. The whole system as such is not an entrepreneurial driven system. Okay, so this is the fundamental basis of the current system, which we need to acknowledge first. Because this system has produced so many great things also. Great doctors are there, Indian doctors are revered around, great IT professionals are there, they are revered around. So this has also helped us propagate. But it has not helped us propagate in an entrepreneurial mindset. But it has helped us propagate in a work culture mindset. If you look at all the multinational companies, they want to start to back offices in India. Venture capitalists want to enter in India because we get that workforce, the dedicated workforce, the skilled labor, the unskilling and the reskilling labor is very fast in India because of this system. So the system has worked. But if you take an entrepreneurship per se, you need a various set of skills for entrepreneurship. Number one, you need risk-taking capacity, the capacity to face failure, the capacity to work with the government, negotiate rules, work on taxes, finance, so many different skill sets, all to a side. So these are things that I think that the new education policy and the new system should definitely address. Because if they address, then the whole system can go become revolutionary. I tell you, Namrata, look at you. Out of the 100 richest people in US, 77 of them are college dropouts. That means what? When they had dropped out of college, they already had all the skill sets required that they learned in school, which will hold them so that they can become great entrepreneurs later on in life. So that means the school is the fundamental basis of character, of thinking, of capacity to learn, adaptability, teamwork. All of this school is the fundamental area that has to be incorporated. This is what we need to actually create in our education.
Right. So, Kanan, what is the situation like in lockdown? How is the school system going on, and how long this will continue? What do you feel about that?
See, the lockdown is something which is unprecedented. 1.2 billion children in the world are out of school today. That's unprecedented. And second, the lockdown has been, let's be accepted the fact, the lockdown has been forced into our children. Not that something they were told for or prepared for and they got it. It is a forced global pandemic. So what happened? The first thing the children tell me, the same teachers who said don't spend online more than half an hour are telling me to come online for 3 to 4 hours. The same parents who said, don't be sit on the laptop for long, are giving the laptop and saying, please attend your online classes very well. So
Yes.
the children are going through this contradiction. Are you getting that? That's point number one. Second, the gap between the have and have nots is going to increase tremendously. If my school has great online technology, if I have a great laptop, if I have great internet connectivity, and I have a great way, and the classes are being done a great way, I have an undue advantage compared to a middle budget school or a government school which does not have that infrastructure. Are you getting that? So this is the difference between have and have not started to now increase, especially in higher grades, where learning is fundamental. Now look at it. Children have been out of school for 5 months. Can you believe that? The 10th and 12th are out of education for 5 months now. They've completed the fifth month. So now you look at a child in Delhi, for 5 months he has not had any sort of constructive learning, personal learning, which he is used to for 10 years. He is now pushed to a phone, which is hardly very small, where he has to look into the phone and understand what he is being taught, which is very difficult for a child. Assessments are becoming difficult. Second, distractions are becoming more now. Because now the cell phone with a kid, the Instagram with a kid, the Facebook with a kid from the child is now given full leverage. So now the child's mind wants to wander to everywhere, especially the older age group. Third thing that I'm seeing a lot that children are facing, especially the lower grades, is now parents have started to work. Either it's work from home or they've started small, going to office, going to work. So now there is no supervision to their online education. So they just have a laptop or a computer and it's to their whims and fancies. Many children tell me they have put the camera on, they put the mic on mute, and they are on YouTube. So
Right.
these things
Yeah.
have to be now streamlined. Now is the time to streamline. Now, how long it will go, even God does not know how long it will go. Nobody knows. Because this is a virus that has never happened has come out. 1 in 100 years. It was 100 years back where the Spanish flu happened. So after 100 years, we have come back to the same situation. So it's like nobody can predict it. But what I will tell you, every crisis brings out opportunity. And take it from me, technology and learning online is going to be the norm of the 21st century, whether we like it or not as parents. So what do? We need to adapt our children to the new norm. Please invest in a good laptop, invest in a good iPad, give them the good connectivity. Second, teach them digital etiquette. What are the do's? What are the don'ts? Get them to understand how to use the technology in a more efficient fashion. Rather than hiding topics, openly talk about children, about topics related with love affair, age, distraction, PUBG, somebody's stalking you, cyberbullying you. Is there a geotagging that is happening? Start to have open conversations, because when you have open conversations and when the child knows that my father, mother will not shout at me, will not hit me, will not punish me, then I will be open about it. Are you getting that? And I think the number one rule right now for online education for all parents is this: listen to your children, trust your children, and empower your children. Listen, trust, and empower your children, because this is the new normal. With the new education system coming into it, children will have to become lifelong learners. There is no more a college degree. The college degree that you got will become obsolete in every 4 to 5 years, because new skill sets are coming. And in fact, Harvard came out with this beautiful study. You know what they said? 65% of the children studying in primary grades are studying for courses that have not been created by our current system today. So that means what? Adaptability, learning, unlearning, relearning, and upskilling is going to be the mantra of success in the near future. Period.
This is a very, very important point, Kanan. Unlearning. For my friends, if you agree with that, Monica is telling yes. If you all agree with this, please type yes. So Kanan knows that we all are in the same page, because he said that every crisis has an opportunity. And now we have to get our children best laptops, best internet connectivity, and we have to do what
Look at it as an investment. This is an investment. Please understand. Don't look at it like a burden. It is an investment into the future. Simple thing I will tell you. When the lockdown started, the first 1.5 months, my child didn't do anything. Then the online classes were deferred online classes for her. There's no live class. Instead of cribbing, you know what I did? I invested her in a coding and a game building class. She wanted to play video games. I said, why don't you learn to create video games? My daughter in the lockdown has created 9 video games.
She has created. Oh wow, that's amazing.
Mario Brothers, Pac-Man, through the pinball, all of that she has coded and she has created. I hired a teacher. I told the teacher every day morning you'll have to take a 1-hour class. I paid for the teacher. She's learning in online coding. Now, I gave her the opportunity because I know technology is the future. Are you understanding that? Second, yes. I gave her drama and communication class online, because of which she did her own theatre play online. Can you believe it? 30 children together, they did a theatre play online. Now, because she did a theatre play online, I am seeing a marked improvement in the communication skill. That's the second skill you need to teach your children. The third skill you really need to teach your children, whether you like it or not, is mathematics and science skill. So I put her in an online mathematics training program where she's learning her math skill. Her last test, she got 20 on 20 in maths. And this was a girl in March. She had a massive phobia for maths. Massive phobia for maths. Now, that will come only when we parents think out of the box and give our children that exposure. When we give our children exposure, that's where the real transformation starts to come out. Bill Gates would have never become Bill Gates if he didn't study in a particular school that had access to computer, where 99% of the children who were studying in United States that time did not have access to computer. Now, because of that access that he got and a great mentor he got who mentored him on coding, in 8th standard, Namrata, can you believe? When he completed 8th standard, he sold the software to IBM. Because of the exposure that was given to him. So please understand, the world exposure, you need to give your children exposure. Now, what exposure to give? Give multiple. See what works. Then give more of that. See whether there is a passion, there is a flag that's coming out of it. That's the new norm. If you're going to sit and run off the mill and say, and please understand, if you're going to mark your child on what is available already in Google, like history and geography, you have lost it. Because the world is changing today. We need to equip our children in cutting-edge thinking, cutting-edge knowledge of technology, how to use it, how to adapt to the new normal, and at the same time, our values, the humbleness, the care, the concern, the family etiquette, the family time, the gratitude for family members and elders. This also should come from parents. And that's very, very important. Please don't leave them that the internet and online education will give them everything. No, nothing will come next to a mother's love. Nothing will come next to a father's understanding. And nothing will come to the trust that parents place on children. That is very, very, very critical.
But how will peer learning happen, Kanan, if you're doing online studies and everything? If I'll not go to school, how will I make fair friends, or how will the peer learning thing happen?
So now, what is happening? Today, nobody wants online education. It has been enforced. Let's understand that first. Okay. So peer learning is not possible as of now because of the COVID lockdown, where we are not supposed to have social distancing. Children are not allowed to go out and play because children may be susceptible, though the death rate in children is very, 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 very minuscule. It's 0.00001. So, but still, we are very scared because we love our children. That's very important. So now what I say? Now say, for example, what I did. Now, online social learning is not there. So what I did, I got a group of my children's friends online and we did parties together. They did a birthday party together. You can do it online. We had a cousins get together every Sunday online. See, we need to understand there are two things in life I always live by. Either you can keep complaining about what's not working, or you can take a choice to see what can make them work in the current situation. Are you all getting that? Yesterday, my daughter had a play date. She loved it. After 3 months, she had one of her friends come in here and play with her. She loved it. Now, we could not do anything much more than that inside of the situation. Please understand that. But once the situation improves, I'm telling you, the skill set for online plus the social interaction should go hand in hand. And now, For all parents who are listening over here, I have one piece of advice for you all. You are just not a parent today. I repeat, you are just not a parent today. You are a brother, sister, friend, and almost a grandparent and everything to the child today. I play basketball with my child, Namrata, inside of the house. My wife plays a kitchen game. Day before yesterday, I played teacher and student game with my daughter. My daughter is the principal and she was questioning me on my performance. I've never played that game for the last 30 years. When I was a kid, I played it. Now you need to understand, parents need to rise up and come and compensate for that space. That's what we need to think. And I think if parents can do that, yes, definitely children are important. Children of their age group is important. Once another, it will take another 3 to 6 months. Let's be very clear about it. Children to get back to normal school, minimum 3 to 6 months it will take, maybe even more. But till then, how long are we going to keep them inside and strangulated? We need to take up different roles and look at innovative ways that we can engage the children. It could be online, it could be offline, whatever is possible in your setting, please engage your children. Get them to connect online with their relatives, their friends, their cousins. Have kitty parties through online. Today, online parties are so beautiful. We love that. I mean, I'm just loving those online parties today. You need to look at innovative and out of the box. And I think that thing lies with all the parents. Parents have to do that.
Right. So friends, if you're on for online party, type yes. We are soon going to have an education online party in our community. So please type yes. So we'll arrange that very soon. So many questions.
You take the object and the photograph of the person you love. My daughter was running all around the house to take photographs. It was fun, yeah. It was really fun. They were doing it innovatively.
That is amazing for you, playing basketball at home, kitchen set at home, and so parents' responsibility has just multiplied, Kanan, isn't that?
Exactly. It's not that I'm saying you should play kitchen game 24/7. You need to have a hard conversation with your child and say, yes, every day I will give you that 1.5 hours, that 2 hours. Then balance it together. It's all based on integrity with you and your child. That's the connect you have to develop. Yeah.
Right. Great. So the next question is, what is about the NEC policy which has come up just yesterday by government? How long it will take to implement? And it is so confusing, language, mother tongue and whatnot, and diploma, degree. Can you please tell something about the new NEP policy which has come up yesterday?
I always say something about this government, and I mean this government, their intentions are really clear. They are really for, and they really genuinely want to make a difference. Okay, they genuinely want to make a difference. And I think personally, this is my opinion, I think this NEP is a great thing that has happened after independence in India. One of the great revolutions after independence.
Independence means so many years.
I think we should touch our thing and say, oh my God, I'm alive to see such a thing. That such new policy on critical thinking, on 5+3+3+4 system, which are all the Western systems and which what Western people had, which they are now trying to bring in and trying to bring assessments into it, trying to bring exams only 4 times in an academic, the entire schooling time, giving more vocational skills, which is something that I've been always lobbying with. In fact, the last meeting I had with Prakash Javadekar also, I said the same thing. I said vocational education should be part of life, and that has now come in. From 6th standard, vocational ed has come in. Community service is coming in. This is one thing I have been lobbying so hard, because I always see the difference between US and India. US community service is mandatory. You have to do community work from your 6th grade, 7th grade, right up to 12th grade. And that is taken even for your college admission. What community service project you did. That is now becoming mandatory. So I think lot of lovely things. Technology integration has come in. Then dropping out of years. Children have choice to select which course they want to select. All of these are things that were rotting our education system. In fact, all the children who are studying in colleges today will be regretting. Which I would have been born 5 years before or 8 years before. So at least I could have had a lot of these options. In fact, I was thinking like that, looking at the system. Had this NEP policy happened when I was in the 3rd or 4th standard, probably my life would have been totally different. So many different things I could have had. So many opportunities like career guidance. All of that is in a good thing. Now, again, I'm coming to it. Everything is great on paper. The draft is beautiful, except maybe for the language thing, which they will come across it later. That's not a problem. But what will happen at the grassroots implementation level? How are the 4 to 5 crore teachers going to be reskilled? How is the net connectivity of every last mile connectivity going to come for a driver's child or an owner's child at the same level? How will a coolie's child in Bihar who's studying under the lamp of the roadside lamp benefit out of this? Will the system be the same? How much of the new system, that all of this we want to see. And second, the GDP, 6% GDP is brilliant. Never in the history of India it has gone up more than 1.5%, 2%, and now we are at 6%. Now, where is the 6% going to go is the next question. If it is going to go in just tenders and that alone and not in real training and skilling and upskilling of the teachers, giving them better the things, and I think that's something that the government has to really take on. And I think, politics apart, I think what Arvind Kejriwal has done in Delhi is something phenomenal. Something that, gives us hope that in our lifetimes we can see change in education system. So that's something that I really, really like and admire. And I really hope the national education policy goes and gets implemented. I'm telling you, Namrata, even if 20 to 30% of that is implemented, school education will be revolutionized. You should have to implement everything. 30 to 40% if the government implements it. It will be revolutionary because most of that is very well thought out. Very well thought in the right direction, very progressive. But again, it's on paper. So once the implementation comes in,
if we have people like you have been coaching principal across India, you have been taking session. I'm sure with your guidance, it will be implemented very, very soon. So now we'll take audience questions. There are so many questions which is coming out from audience. So first is from the IGCSE curriculum teacher. He is asking to Gyanesh Golatkar. So he teaches physics to the IG schools. He's asking, I believe life skills are more important than accumulation of knowledge. How do we balance that?
So very, very simple, sir. Life skills and knowledge should go hand in hand. Please understand this. It has to go hand in hand. That is, what is life skills today? Now, you please understand, life skills is what you call as your 21st century skills, which could be adaptability, technology savviness, digital etiquette. It will keep evolving over a period of time. Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to look at, so now in the schools I partner with, we work with Dr. Stephen Covey's 7 habits. So there are 7 habits which we integrate from kindergarten. From kindergarten to right up to 12th grade, it is integrated into the syllabus of the school. So if they learn history, they learn Ashoka and which habits Ashoka used. If they learn geography, they see how nature uses the habit of win-win. How does nature uses the habit of synergize? So now, life skills should not be a one-period wonder. Life skills should be ubiquitous in all the systems that they do. In sports, life skills can be taught. In computer class, life skills can be taught. So it has to be done together as part of the system. Whenever you do it as a one-period wonder, that time is gone. Now you need to do it as part of the system. When you teach mathematics, can you teach mathematics with life skills? See, like for example, one of the teachers did math so beautifully. She calls it as synergy numbers, reactive numbers, and proactive numbers. So she uses our 7 habits, our curriculum, and does it in a very innovative way. So that's something that I truly and wholly believe is that we need to create a system where life skill is a way of life and not just an individual system. It's a way of life of teaching inside every single school. And that is what the National Education Policy is actually proposing. With critical skills, assessment, introspection, feedback, regular feedback. So I think it's coming out. And I think it has to be part of the system. My take for you, sir, whether you're IGCSE, ICSE, CBSE, metric, state board, immaterial, it's part of your value system. It has to be driven as part of the value system of any curriculum we teach our children.
So Kanan, like you introduced the book like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and Leader in Me to 72 schools. You think after this policy you can introduce to all the other schools also? Is it possible?
My dream is very simple. I had a major car accident when I was in 2001. I had to die. I had multiple surgeries done, and the doctor had declared that I will not live. The doctor had told I will not live because I had massive hemorrhage. But in spite of that, I was born. I was like literally reborn. And you won't believe it. From that day, I truly believe that there is a true core purpose in my life. And when a child that I counsel committed suicide because of what the parents did and what the teachers in the school did to the child, on predominantly what academics is all about, like how Angelo Rajesh sir is speaking, only purely on academics, the child had committed suicide. I took it on myself as a mission that every child should be equipped with the skill set to understand his core potential and live with passion. That's my mission in life. And I truly believe, mark my word, Namrata, before the last breath leaves my body, it will definitely happen in my lifetime. I truly and
Yeah.
wholly believe that. I've been
Yes, yes.
working with
Very much
governments,
aware
we are
of
working with
your
people
experience.
governments, and I truly believe that we need to see this revolution. A child who's not good in math must be told what he can come up. Exactly like what Angelo Rajesh is saying. That it's not just academics. See now, academics is good for certain set of people. There are certain set of people who are for that grind. Now, by 8th or ninth grade, you should understand what's the potential of your child. If your child is academically inclined, yes, it's a great thing. You can go to IIT, there is a whole rhythm. But if your child is not inclined, why are you forcing it? You cannot measure a fish by its ability to climb a tree. You can only measure the fish's ability when it swims in a pond. So that is where the problem lies. So I truly believe, in a simple format, I will tell you this. If your child is visually inclined to learn a lot, give him more of that. If they are auditorily inclined to more a lot, then adapt to that. If they are kinesthetically inclined to do a lot, make them something related to that. Then you know which your child's core is. That is where you will mold them to what you want to become. Are you getting that? Second,
Yes, yes.
always
Perfect.
trust your child. It could be that your child is playing a lot of cricket today, but it not be cricket that will make him the life, but the skills he learns about how to synergize a team, how to harness a team, how to get failure of, from the match he got, how to play cricket in a gully. All those life skills that we learn are the ones that they actually take out into their life and they start a business. And in fact, Angelo Rajesh is here. Sir, your story about how you in that slum, I have heard that story 10 to 15 times.
Sir,
It's
you're
mind
on
blowing.
screen. Sir, Rajesh, sir, you're on screen. Welcome to the talk.
Thank
Kanan
you
wanted
so
to.
much. Thank you so much. That was a very inspiring and a very interesting talk. And your knowledge is phenomenal about child psychology. I'm sure the educators of this country and the politicians of this country are listening to you and your suggestions. And I hope that they implement this to the advantage of the Indian audience. I'm sure these kind of suggestions need to be implemented.
Yes. And I'm telling
So,
you, sir, the time has come that people like you are, standing up, who have achieved in life, started with nothing just by the skill sets of your Malawi and the floods that used to come in, and from the flood, what you learned, how to learn from a gangster, all of those skill sets, right, which made you who you are today. I think those are the skill sets that we need to inculcate in our children. And I think people like
Absolutely.
you should become the role models. I always say this, rather than having dead role models, let us have live role models in our textbook so that children
Absolutely.
can learn live. Yes, that's something
Absolutely.
that I truly and wholly believe in. Yes,
Absolutely. Experiences are the best teachers of life and they shape you
exactly.
and sharpen you for the world to come and the world of tomorrow. And now we have all realized that we are actually reborn for this new world order. And the way we are going to grow India as a country, we are very happy and we welcome these new decisions of the education system. I firmly believe that the quality of a society, the quality of an individual, or the quality of a nation depends on the quality of the population that it has. And the population which is there is very much dependent on education, whether it is a formal academic education or not only within the walls of the school and colleges, but also within the walls of your home, which is today not only a home, it is also an office and it is also a school because your children are studying at home, you're working from home, and you're living in the same home as a home. So it's a three-in-one combination. So I'm sure these are all change times. It is all going to be very exciting, very interesting. And India as a country, what you predict and I predict is the same. In this new world order, the leadership in the world is going to be played by India as a country. And what China did in the last 30 years for economic leadership to the world, that is what India is going to play in the next 20 to 30 years. And we will be an economic superpower which will lead the people with the power of love, peace, and happiness. And our population, with the quality of education that they will intake and the emotional bonding that they have, emotion is our biggest wealth of Indians, and this emotion is
Exactly.
absolutely our true wealth, which we will spread to the world. And we will also spread the message of peace and happiness and economic growth through cooperation and collaboration rather than war and misery.
Exactly. Perfectly well said. And I think that's the essence of who we are as a country and what we stand for as a country. And that's the essence of India with 856 languages and so many different cultures and religions. Still, we all live together and at one India, one slogan, one Vande Mataram. I think that's the whole true spirit of India and what it is all about. Beautiful.
Fantastic. And your thoughts were fantastic, awesome, to the point, and it was flowing like water. So you have got a very smooth process of thinking, your thoughts and your words and thoughts and your actions were matching the way you expressed it. I'm sure the audience has enjoyed your suggestions and guidelines. And the best part about this lockdown is when we share our thoughts, which are actually helping people to take the right decisions in their life, because people have got a lot of unasked questions and they get answers through such talk shows, and a great show by Namrata. And the way she has actually extracted the best information from your experiences is remarkable. I'm sure everybody has enjoyed this show.
Yes, but we would like to take a big takeaway while going, Kanan. Any message for the parents and entrepreneurs? Of course, we got a lot of takeaways, but one final takeaway to all the audience who are watching.
I'll just give you this. It's called the 5E philosophy. Okay, all of you write this down. 5 E's. Okay, 5 E's. The first E with any child that you need to do is engage your child. Engage them in what they like and not what you like. This is first important question. Engagement. Second thing, always be enthusiastic as a parent. If as a parent you're somebody who sits and criticizes, the world is like this, that is like this, this is like this, I don't know why this is like that, then obviously your children will be a reflection of the same criticism. Please understand, if you're criticizing someone in front of your children, tomorrow your children will criticize you in front of someone else. Be ready for that. So that is very, very important. So engage your child correctly. Second, empower your child. Now that is very, very important. You need to empower and trust your child. Parents who don't trust their child, take it from me, the children will not trust your same advisors. Empower the child. Third, you need to be, as I said, energetic and enthusiastic with your child. So these are the first 3 E's which are fundamentally critical for any parenting. The fourth one is be easy with your children. Children are children only for a very short period of time. Please get that clear. So you need to choose your battles. Just because your child didn't get up at 8:30, don't bring the entire roof down. Nothing is going to happen. This is a lockdown. Give that ease. Choose your battles. Which one to shout, which one to do it playfully, and which one to really enjoy and do it, right? And the last E, I always get that, is always understand, enjoy the time when they are children. The biggest regret of any parent when the child goes to college is, I miss those childhood days. Today, parents put so much pressure on themselves that they have forgotten to enjoy the coffee with the child, the walk with the child, the lovely chatter with the child. They've forgotten the joy of parenting. Brother and sister who are listening to this, I have one statement for all of y'all. When you take back, you are not going to take back your property, your jewelry, your dress, your Ado watch, your Rolex watch, how many articles you came, how many Facebook subscribers you had, nothing. You will only take back good memories and good relationships you had with human beings, and in very specific, your children, because that's one of the highest levels of happiness factors. Your children, because they are your legacy. Your children are your legacy. So you need to take care of them, empower them, nourish them, enjoy with them, ease with them, engage them effectively and fruitfully, and that's where we will create our lasting legacy for us. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for a wonderful session.
So that's a good one. Namrata, can I do the parting shot if you don't mind?
What you want to do? Sorry.
Can I say the last statement if you don't mind?
Yeah, please go.
So this is absolutely fantastic. We need to definitely empower our children with the right engagement, and we should always be enthusiastic about life and the situation. We should be easy with the children to the right proportion so that they don't miss out on their path. We need to guide them well. And we need to enjoy every moment of life. Apart from this, what we need to coach our children from today onwards is we need to have a life where we, at the children's stage, we need to learn. Where at the adult stage, we need to learn how to earn. And during our adult stage and for the rest of our life, we need to learn the formula of return. So life is all about learn, earn, and return. We need to become social citizens. We need to be global citizens. There are no geographical boundaries. The origins are something which make us proud to be proud Indians. But if we contribute to the rest of the world, we become global citizens, and that's what every Indian is going to be. So we need to become social-minded people where we are concerned for the environment around us, the people around us, and the life of tomorrow is going to be purely a life of collaboration and cooperation. There is not going to be competition. So apart from empowering our children, engaging our children, making them enthusiastic, keeping them easy on their path of life, and making them enjoy every moment of life, because life is in the now. We need to make them realize the importance of learn, earn, and return to make this world a better place to live in, and absolutely a place of peace and happiness for the growth and glory of every individual on planet Earth, all the 7 billion people. Thank you so much.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.